Good afternoon. You're listening to the Mother's Justice Show on 11:50 a.m. KKNW. I'm your host today, Harriet Walden. It's my joy to be on air. Thank you so much. I'd like to bring my guest on, who's so gracious to be with me today. Her name is Angela Davis. She's Minister Davis. She's a great friend of mine. And today we will be talking about healing. Healing, uh, as you heal yourself while going through your healing plus community work. Because one thing that tires us out is the community work that we do. So I just asked her to come on with me today. How you doing, Miss? How you doing, Minister?
Oh, I'm doing great. How are you, Mother Reverend?
We're moving through, but I'm absolutely glad to be on the show today. On my show today, I am.
It's an
And so
honor.
you look so beautiful.
Oh, thank you. And so do you.
Thank you. You want to just get? I wanted to bring you on so you could talk about your journey, and your journey in faith while you are doing community work.
Okay. Well, um, I grew up in the Central District, and during that time, mental wellness was not a conversation that was talked about, even tried to be understood in our community. But it's very prevalent, and being able to navigate that as a child was very challenging. My mother was hospitalized 3 times, but we didn't talk about it. She just was in the hospital. I went to one year. I went to stay with my aunt and uncle for 6 months, and then I went to Forest Ridge for that 6 months.
I didn't know you went to Forest Ridge. That's a very prestigious school.
Yes, it was. It was a I didn't know how prestigious. It was a whole nother world. Really and truly, it was culture shock because I was in the 70s and I grew up in the Central District where, there was a variety of people, not a homogeneous group of one type of people. So to go to a school that was an all-girl Catholic school was traumatizing to me.
What was traumatizing about it, Angela?
Well,
I like to call
because
you Angela, but
I'm used to seeing people that look like us. I mean, when I was going to school, we had everybody. We had Samoan, we had, Asian, we had Black, we had everything. But at Fort Ridge, the school went 6 through 12, but there were only 3 Black girls on the whole school campus, and the other 2 were in the upper grade, so they were in high school, and I was in middle school. So I never got a chance to bond with them. So that was very traumatic to me because I was whisked into a culture that I wasn't really ready for. But the mental wellness journey from childhood to now, it's still an ongoing process. I don't think that as long as we're human, we're going to have things that we're going to be continually transformed and reevaluate and reassess, you know, what type of ways that we do things that are beneficial, detrimental to our lives.
I like to agree with that because my grandmother, I was raised, my grandmother was born in the 1800s. And so people who are talking to you and raising you, if you were raised in the 1800s, did not have a thing to know and did not even know about healthcare. You just had to go get it done like they're doing now. And so that has been my life. And I know that you and I have so many things in common that I just wanted you to come on and continue to talk about what things are working for you and what things are not.
Yeah. Um, so as we as a community interact with each other, and someone is going through something, somebody lost their husband, somebody killed somebody. I have a family member whose father murdered their mother. She was a teenager around the same age that I was when I lost my mother in trauma. But there was no discussing, there was no acknowledging the reality of what has. It was just non talked about trauma. And being a child trying to figure things out and recognizing that the people in your life are not even willing to address it. How can you move through it? And I think that has been my ongoing path ever since. Being a child that grew up in an environment that was not healthy. I'm not ashamed of it. I used to be ashamed of it. I've been ostracized, misunderstood, and alienated because of it. But now it's a topic that's normalized on TV.
It is a topic
And
that's normalized. I agree with that. You hear about it all the time now. Mental health and wellness, self-care, and still doing community work.
yes.
Mhm.
And so finding the balance of community work that helps makes the difference and making sure that you're not overloading yourself to the detriment and the assurance of your purpose and your care. It can be very, very daunting. And sometimes it does get to be too much. And if you are a healer or if you are a person that is passionate about making a difference, you have that internal fire within you to do certain things that other people would just rather not do because that's who you are. It's not something you do. So that's where that balance becomes very serious because when that's who you are, where's the line to stop and make sure that you're watering yourself with love, watering yourself with peace, watering yourself with solitude, and surrounding yourself with people that will nourish you. Because if you are that type of person that was sent here on this earth to do that particular type of work, it's an ongoing thing. It doesn't, it goes on. But we have limited capacity, and the
I agree with
spirit
you. I
has
really agree
infinite.
with what's going on. I really do, Angela. And also, I just want
Mhm.
to, I know that you were supposed to bring a list of music that you wanted to play today. Did you bring the list?
Yes,
Good. Well, let's just go ahead
yes.
and take our first break right now. And usually Eric already has things already prepared, and so there's grace
Mhm.
for me today. And you just tell him the name of the songs that you want to play.
Okay. I had Earth, Wind, and Fire, Keep Your Head to the Sky, Bill Withers, Lean on Me,
Mhm.
and Bishop Morton, I Pray for You, You Pray for Me. And I text that to you also, Mother Reverend.
Well, I thank you. I thank you for that. And we'll why don't we just go ahead and take a break right now? You listen to the Mother's Justice Show on 11:50 a.m. KKNW. I'm your host, Reverend Walden. It is my joy to be on there, and we'll come back and when the music is over, and I'll be glad to listen to your songs then. Thank you so
Mhm.
much.
The Mother's Justice Show is brought to you by H.G. Walden and the Virtues Healing Circles. Join us for Wisdom and Wellness with Reverend Walden, a monthly virtual and in-person healing circle that focuses on community healing and growth. Learn more at virtueshealing.com. That's virtueshealing.com. Also, be sure to join our healing group on Facebook. Again, visit us at virtueshealing.com today.
Market Street Shoes is happy to sponsor the Mother's Justice Show in honor of our mother, Jackie Higgins Rosebrook, who spent her life fighting for social justice, and also in honor of all mothers who fight for social justice. Market Street Shoes, fashionable footwear and apparel for life's everyday adventures, in the heart of Ballard since 2006. Visit marketstreetshoes.com.
You're listening to the Mother's Justice Show on 11:50 a.m. KKNW. I'm your host, Reverend Walden. It's my joy to be on air. I want to bring my guest in, my only guest today. Is Minister Davis. She's a great friend and just been there with me as I move through all these events in life. And we all have them from time to time. Thank you, Angela.
Thank you for being you. and been here in this space and time. It's a valued treasure. And I was thinking about that song, Bill Withers. That song was created and it still resonates today. We all need somebody to lean on. And when we have societies, um, views and perspectives that are healthy, but they're not helping the person. And that's how I ended up with my journey with the healing circles, because I know I needed somebody to lean on. But even within my faith um, church community, I needed help with mental illness. And I was told, the devil is a lie, check yourself out right now. And I knew where I was at that particular time in my life. I had suicidal ideation. I knew something was wrong with me, but I knew I couldn't fix it. I knew I didn't want to leave this earth, but I knew something was wrong. So at that juncture, I realized, I said, there's a disconnect, because spirituality and a relationship with spiritual practice is supposed to bring peace. It's supposed to bring a place of breakthrough in our humanness. And when that doesn't happen, then there should be people within that practice that can help someone else get there.
Angela, I really agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
I really do agree with that piece. But also shifting just a little bit. What about when you're
Sure.
doing a lot of work in community? And I think that people like you and myself is that we put out a lot.
Yes.
And we put out a lot to community because we love them. And we
Mm-hmm.
absolutely want the community to be a better place. And and not taking a lot of time for yourself. I mean, sometimes that you let yourself go. But that
Mm-hmm.
doesn't mean that you're not still able to do the work. And one thing I know about life, I'm learning that it teaches you patience. And because we live in a society where patience is not always available,
True.
but sometimes it's necessary. And then you
Mm-hmm.
want to talk about the police and all of those kinds of things. So there's a lot that's been going on. I've been doing this work for 35 years plus,
Mm-hmm.
35, and that's a long time.
Yeah.
It really is. It's a generation in some. To think about that, a generation of being faithful, always there, and never saying no. And that's what
Mm-hmm.
I think about what you're doing. And we have healing
Mm-hmm.
circles too, the virtuous healing circles. And
Mm-hmm.
my desire is to be able to do those circles and move away from some of the other things that I've been doing. But it all work
Mm-hmm.
out. I do believe that. But
Yeah.
I love your healing circle. So you want to talk a little bit about your healing circle?
Yes. So for those that may or may not know, that healing circles are not a new concept. They've been around for centuries. And what we're doing as community members and people that are passionate about this concept are putting it back into this society that we have. So my company is called CCS Unlimited, and the goal is to normalize restorative practices by creating restorative hubs in every community. With the concept being, we have 5 police precincts in Seattle. We do not have one identifiable restorative practice hub where we can normalize the process to prevent or decrease the need for the police to actually get involved. Healing and restoration in a way that honors and respects community, and also people can embody the attributes of all faiths with its love, compassion, man's humanity to humankind. And with that being said, we have all these educational degrees and departments. We got social emotional learning. We got, you know, um, psychological pictures that they make of why somebody would do something, and then you have someone that does something that doesn't fit an academic picture of something. But in community, we all get to hear on a deeper level what somebody is truly saying. A lot of times when we have community and we're thinking, a lot of times we're responding to what we think we're going to hear the person say next. And then when that happens, we miss out on the deeper context of what that means. And a lot of our young people don't have places and spaces where they are being heard, where they are being seen, where they're being honored. And my generations and the generations before me, we were taught you're not supposed to be seen and heard.
Well, when I was
And
growing up, I was taught that we're supposed to stuff everything, and doing the work
yes,
in community, that you just stuff it. And that's what we've done for so long. And,
right.
now what's going on in the world, it's going to be a lot more people who need self-care. And I think we should have,
Mhm.
I think we should have our resting place for people who are out there doing the work, and that they continue to want to do the work, that they'll have a place to rest at, and then they go back out there. And see, and
Yeah.
all of that just makes it better. Then
Yes.
you get out there, and then you get to see people that you know, and people that you haven't
Mhm.
seen in a while. So that's what my goal is. My goal is to
Yeah.
continue. My goal is to continue to work as long as I can, and shift, and
Mhm.
shifting, because police issues, and mothers issues, and all the other violence issues in America and around the world absolutely go together on some levels. Because what is happening is that people around the world, on some countries, it's like they're normalizing the behavior of people who are not who are out of bounds. And you have quite a few people who are out of bounds, right?
Mhm.
Quite a few of them. And we
Mhm.
won't name them. Hey, we won't spend any time naming other people today. We're just talking about ourselves.
Yeah.
But so many times we just give it all to other people and not enough about ourselves. And so,
Right.
that's why I wanted to come on and continue to come on today as long as I can. Not every Monday, of course, just the last Monday of. And so
Yeah.
I thought one thing about when you want to do something different, you absolutely bring on somebody who's different, and you're
Mhm.
different. And I appreciate that.
Yeah. Yes. You mentioned something that is so vital, that people that are healers, community advocates, people that are a part of something that's way far bigger than themselves. Where's the line to where you deplete yourself that you can't be that? And what do you do? How do you stop? How do you maintain and come to that? And recently, when I was in this car accident, I couldn't wrap my head around that there's this thing going on that that I can't um, do. And so, I'm I'm outside, so a lot of people are and about enjoying the beautiful sunny weather. But when it comes to self care and all of that, recuperating from something that has drained you or completed, taken away your energy, your excitement, your zeal to do what you need to do, all of those things become very, very vital for sustaining ourselves.
I agree.
You know, if we,
It is really about sustainability, and also honoring yourself, honoring yourself on those days when you're just too tired to go on, and just kind of take care of yourself more. And
right,
and so
and actively, what do I do for that? That's the thing. What do we do? How do we do that? You know, uh, our pastor will say, "Ring doesn't mean we always have to answer, right?" But because we're so passionate and we care so much, a lot of times we just, oh, you know. But ring does not mean that we always have to answer, and uh, we cannot survive without water in the natural sense. And we really cannot survive without water in the spiritual sense, or anything that is greater that we connect to. I connect to my belief in God and what he represents and who he is in my life. So when I feel like something is overwhelming, that is a daunting task, that I can't do nothing, I can't handle it, well, that's the point. It's
I
not for
agree
me
with
to
that.
handle.
I agree with that. And sometimes we just wanted to continue to do it, push the river. I had a friend who always told me, "Oh, Harriet, you always pushing the river," because sometimes I didn't rest enough. But that's how it is sometimes. You just go on and do the best you can, and want to do that as long as you can. And that's what I
Mhm.
believe. So, and just do it as long as you can. I mean, 'cause sometimes the world isn't perfect, but we want it to be perfect all the time. That's what I
Mhm.
believe. I believe that.
Yeah, well, yeah, I believe that there's a reason. You said something about shifting and transforming from the purpose of this platform to something else. You know, a little sapling tree cannot give us shade. It's just preparing itself to be a tree that can do shade, provide shade. But a sapling tree has its significance in life, and it's still, in order for it to be strong and be able to get to the point where it can carry shade for others that are under it to rest so that they can move on and move forward, it has to withstand the seasons, the
I
rain, the
agree.
storm, and all
I
of
agree
that.
with
And we
that.
in our lives. And we have to be able to recognize what those seasons are and apply healthy patterns for those seasons. Every August is the anniversary of my mom's death by suicide. For years, I used to try to ignore it, and it was not good for everybody. It was not, now I acknowledge it. I acknowledge that that was the date that at my 12-year age, I tried to wake up my mother and I couldn't. And it has changed my life forever. But it also has propelled me to move forward in passion and in purpose for other people. Um, but I have to take care of myself in August
Well, you know what?
because it
I really do
triggered.
agree with that. You know what I
Mhm.
agree with? I agree about taking care of yourself, and also giving yourself some grace, grace that it might not look like it used to be, but you're still here, and and gratitude. So one of the
Yes.
things we were talking about before was trust and the
Mhm.
cards that we put out. And that trust card, always with certainty, you know that God is always on your side. Always,
Yeah.
always on your side with certainty. And so I know that. And today is just a day for me. And I wanted to come on. Not that it's perfect, but just to be him. I love radio. I
Yeah.
absolutely love radio. I grew up
Yeah.
listening to radio. I grew up
Yeah.
listening to radio, and I absolutely love radio. And
Mhm.
it's still my favorite choice right now is radio.
Mhm.
So I just adore radio, and I'm so glad you could come on with me. Appreciate that. So maybe we'll go ahead and take another break. I think you have another song you wanted to get played.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Sure. Either one of the two. But yeah.
Market Street Shoes is happy to sponsor the Mother's Justice Show in honor of our mother, Jackie Higgins Rosebrook, who spent her life fighting for social justice, and also in honor of all mothers who fight for social justice. Market Street Shoes, fashionable footwear and apparel for life's everyday adventures, in the heart of Ballard since 2006. Visit marketstreetshoes.com.
The Mother's Justice Show is brought to you by H.G. Walden and the Virtues Healing Circles. Join us for Wisdom and Wellness with Reverend Walden, a monthly virtual and in-person healing circle that focuses on community healing and growth. Learn more at virtueshealing.com. That's virtueshealing.com. Also, be sure to join our healing group on Facebook. Again, visit us at virtueshealing.com today.
You're listening to the Mother's Justice Show on 1150 AM, KKMW. I am your host, Reverend Walden. And we're going to bring Angela Davis back on. She's with us today as we go through healing and also a little bit about mothers. We'll also talk about mothers for police accountability. Thank you so much.
Yes, you're welcome. You're so welcome. So I was thinking about that song that came back on and talking about trust in humanity and needing to survive. And that is one of the things in our humanness, being people that are caretakers in parts of community work, healing work. You know, we have to be able to know who's going to help us to survive and who are we helping to survive. So, and being able to identify the time when we need people to help us survive and we are helping others to survive. And when does one become over important than the other?
Well, you know what, Angela, I really do agree with that. But also, I wanted to talk a little bit about the fact that sometimes we're just doing the work, community work. I mean, I think we can't leave our community work and how important it is and how I've spent a lifetime doing it. It's just a lifetime. Not only that, but with eye care service and all the other things. And so I'm just, like I say, one of my prayers always is that I'm thankful, I'm grateful, and I'm full of gratitude.
Yes.
I think the gratitude brings us more. It absolutely brings us more. And that's what it is for me. It's just like, wow, you know, life isn't over. There's always something else to do.
Yes.
Yes. Always something else. There's always something to be willing to be with other people and be willing to continue some of the works that you do. But sometimes you have to learn how to take a break.
Yes.
As I said before, I came from a culture that you didn't take breaks. You just kept going all the time. And that keeping yourself going and busy, it's a great dialogue, because so many times you stay up to, you know, long hours in the day, long hours at night doing the work. And then I had an eye care service business. And I drove 45,000 miles a year for 20 years. Oh, isn't that wonderful? I mean, my territory was always from Cedro Willie all the way down to Puyallup. And then we had the Family Empowerment Institute, where we went into the people's home at night and to help them with their children. It's been a life of service, and it is still a life of service. And that's why I wanted to kind of do this show today, just to say that life isn't over. No matter what it shows you, or no matter what you're going through, there's always hope. And just to continue to get better. Yeah, I mean, in America today, sometimes it just thinks has to always be perfect for it to last. But our perfection today is love.
Yes.
That's what love is.
Yes.
Love is always seeing and loving beyond perfection.
Yes.
Yeah. And so the radio, I can say I always love radio. And I will continue to always love radio as I be on. As we perfect our daily walk, and we walk in helping other people, and other people helping us. So I'm grateful again. I said my motto is that I'm thankful, grateful, and I'm full of gratitude. So that's a great song.
Yeah, that gratefulness and that attitude also expands to the things that we think we cannot make it through, because gratitude for the most difficult times and challenges in life is so much richer. I mean, you know, gratitude when things are going okay, you know, that's kind of like, you know, cake, you know, but gratitude for making through something that was, you know, you just couldn't even wrap your head around it. It's more than just frosting and sprinkles and all of that on top of the cake. It's everything. with ice cream on the side. That level of gratitude that comes with coming through something like that. And the gratitude of loving people through those things or being loved through those things. That gratitude is so much greater. Not that the word gratitude has levels, but the impact of the receiving of it is so much greater.
I agree
And
with
I
that.
enjoy it.
I agree.
Yes.
I agree. I really do agree with that because one thing about when people are going through different phases is that the amount of gratitude and outpouring. Actually, you
Yeah.
want to continue talking about your accident that you had, and now that you're
Yeah.
recuperating. I think you told me it was like was one of those a three wheelie, a two wheelie that the car turned around and around and around.
Oh, yeah. So the accident, I think my car did a complete 180. I was turning one way, and when the car actually stopped, it was facing exactly the opposite way than where I was headed. I had 10 fractured ribs on my right side, 3 fractured ribs on my left side. I had a fractured clavicle, fractured sternum, some compressed vertebrae. I had a complete break with an open wound on my left leg. And if you look at my car, and based on what all that had happened to me, I could have died. I was in the hospital for about 6 weeks or something, or several weeks, and I'm still in rehab right now at home, where I have occupational therapy, physical therapy coming to help me figure out when I can put weight on my left leg. I have screws and a rod in my left leg, but the recovery, the recovery of it has been knowing that this is greater, that the work that God has for me to do is not over yet. You know, not mulling around the tragedy and the drama and the horrifics of all this stuff that happened and keep playing on that and everything. No, this has taught me so many more because of this accident. I mean, the people that take care of us when we're in these conditions, the true act of service that they have to do to help people that can't do things for themselves on even the most humbling positions and state. I didn't even, go to the bathroom on my own. All these different things that you take for granted, then all of a sudden you at the mercy of a total stranger to do for you.
That's so funny. It really is because that's what the challenge is that you're moving through, and that's what I always say. I'm not parking my car at this event. I'm going to move through them, like we've always
Yeah.
done in life. So, that's what this show is for me is to say, hey, it doesn't have to be perfect, but let's
Mm-mm.
move through and let's work with other people who absolutely want to see your wholeness, and they glorify that, and knowing that you're moving through these events, and they are events, just like the
Mhm.
sun, the moon is always in different phases, and that's an event. It doesn't stay there. So yeah.
Yes. The other thing that I realized during this whole healing journey and processes is being able to empathize with other people. I'm only utilizing the wheelchair periodically and know that eventually it's only going to be temporary. But to know that this is life of some people for the rest of their life to be in a chair. But when you talk about gratitude, I see people in wheelchairs that have so much joy. I've seen them, they're so happy. It's, oh, hi, how are you doing? And everything. And then there are people that have all the activities of their limbs and all of that. So the joy and the focusing on the joy of life is also the areas of which we can draw from when we feel overload, when we feel that we're weighted down to. And then also knowing that there are people that have been there that can also support.
The scripture says, the joy of the Lord is my strength. And if you look up joy, because most people don't even know that sometimes I would say a sermon in a lot of places. But when you look up joy is in the scripture over almost 365 times, if you look it up. And so there's enough joy on every day, if you focus on it, that you can take you through the day. I mean, so if it wasn't important scripture, it would not be there. 365 times, I think, in the King James Version, because I spoke at one of the, a couple of years ago, and I spoke about joy.
Mm-hmm.
Joy.
Yes, that. One day I was in the skilled nursing for rehabilitation, and the Lord had given me that scripture. Count it all joy when you fall through diverse trials and tribulations. Know that the trying of your faith worketh patience, and let patience have its perfect work, that you be complete and entire, wanting nothing. James chapter 1, verses 2 and 3. Now, the thing about that scripture, I started having this argument and dialogue with God about it. What do you mean count it all joy? What's so joyous about this? I wanted to throw the walker out the window. But there, when I started thinking about all the things that are joy, that are greater than me wanting to throw this walker, then I can start looking at that joy. And then it count it all joy when you diverse trials and tribulations, that you're trying of your faith, patience. Patience, I want to be walking right now. What are you talking about? But the creator of our bodies and creators of the universe designed our bodies, our bones, and our whole system to heal at a certain space and heal at a certain time and certain way. So in the hospital, they told me nothing you can do about bones. Bones heal at the rate that they heal at. You can try to do as many exercises as you want to. You can do as much as this and that, but all you can do is allow time to take its place.
That's one of my time to take its place. That's what one of my sons says. So it's just exercise, Mom. Exercise. Mm-hmm. Nothing gets built in America without exercising some kind of muscles and some kind of just putting a little grit in it. And so I'm looking forward to doing more exercise soon. I mean, that's my real goal, is to be able to get out and exercise, and see myself strong. You have to see it. You have to see yourself strong and know that the Creator made us all strong in some ways. And some people have more strength than others. And I tell you about having strength. Strength is wonderful, but it's also wonderful to be able to accept help. To be able to accept strength when you need it. Yeah. That's why they first told me, lean on me. Because sometimes we have to lean on other people. It's an absolutely fabulous place when you can lean on other people. Mm-hmm. And that's sometimes what we're called for do, is that you don't have to pick it all up by yourself. There's real helpers out there.
Yes.
And there's people who help you just because they love you. Isn't that wonderful?
Yes.
Because love. Yeah. My biggest motto is always love is all there is. Everything else is seeking sand. And one of the scriptures says, if you have not loved, then you don't have it. There's nothing to it. Everything is love. So I think we got a time to play another song. I think you had another song you wanted to play, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. So we'll take a break here. You listen to the Mother's Justice Show on 1150 AM, KKNW. It's my joy to be on there. This is Harriet Walden.
Market Street Shoes is happy to sponsor the Mother's Justice Show in honor of our mother, Jackie Higgins Rosebrook, who spent her life fighting for social justice, and also in honor of all mothers who fight for social justice. Market Street Shoes, fashionable footwear and apparel for life's everyday adventures, in the heart of Ballard since 2006. Visit marketstreetshoes.com.
The Mother's Justice Show is brought to you by H.G. Walden and the Virtues Healing Circles. Join us for Wisdom and Wellness with Reverend Walden, a monthly virtual and in-person healing circle that focuses on community healing and growth. Learn more at virtueshealing.com. That's virtueshealing.com. Also, be sure to join our healing group on Facebook. Again, visit us at virtueshealing.com today.
You're listening to the Mother's Justice Show on 1150 AM KKNW. I'm your host, Reverend Walden. And this is a different kind of show today. And I'll be bringing it back my guest, Angela Davis. She has a fine name. I could bet when she was a little kid, people were saying, what kind of name is that? Welcome back, Angela.
Thank you so much. Yes. So I want to piggyback off of the song that just was played, Keep Your Head to the Sky by Earth, Wind, and Fire. And there's something about being able to look out into the midst of the sky or something that's vast and just know that no matter what you're going through or no matter what life boomerangs come your way, that some may come back, and some of them boomerangs, when they get thrown, might break up and don't never return, But it's an unexpected thing in our lives. But the universe is so much bigger. God is so much bigger and so much greater. I always say, greater is He, the Spirit of God that's in me, than he or she that's in the world. And also, I am more than a conqueror.
Yeah.
Through Christ.
I agree that everything you're saying is true. And all we have to do as we move through and have anxiety or whatever, that we just keep moving. We keep moving. Don't give. You just keep moving and design a great life. And I can say, this is my 7th and 9th year. 7 plus 9. It's like, that's not really old in today's standards. It's a lot of things. Going on, and so on. Like people might be listening today, but it's a great day. Every day is a great day. Every day is a great day. And I know a lot of people said that they're going to be listening today because I posted on Facebook yesterday. And so it's like, wow, it is absolutely grateful. It's good.
Yeah.
It is good. Life is always good. This is one of my affirmations is there's good for us, and we ought to have it.
Yes.
We ought to have that good. And it's right there. It is absolutely available for all of us. And,
sometimes that good involves ingredients that we don't think will make it good as well.
That's
whatever flavor cake you like, it still takes a little baking soda or something that goes in there, just a little bit of that helps create that deliciousness. And I just want to continue to remind and say that gratitude, joy, and recognizing that the spiritual connection is greater than anything that is contained in our limited capacity as humans. And know that grabbing on a hold of that notion in your mind and in your actions and interactions and reaction, a lot of times, the Bible says, be ye not conformed to and be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, is what it says in Romans 12.
Well, I like that. Be transformed. Yes. I mean, we're transforming ourselves even right now. And we have to know that every minute of your life. Because one of those things that's out there, this is every minute. And my other book I wrote a book about consciousness.
Mm-hmm.
It's called repetition. It's repetition, and consciousness. And when you do things repetitiously, you change it. You can change your grooves in your subconscious mind. But you have to be disciplined, and you got to keep it going.
Yes.
Pure discipline makes a difference in our life.
Yes, it does.
Every day, it really does. Every day. My son, Chikendi Salisbury, he has his whole program called Health is a Real Bag of Wealth. And one of the things he's talking about is that you got to walk. He walked away from diabetes a few years ago.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Walking testimony.
He has a living testimony of that health is a real bag of wealth. So we're
That's it.
all on a journey. We're all
Yes.
on a journey, and it's marvelous. It's marvelous to
Yes.
be on a journey and to know that we're all traveling. We're travelers. We're all traveling
Yes.
from here to there, and all of that. And I think it's almost time for us to go. But I just appreciate you. Well,
I appreciate
I
you
appreciate
too.
you, and I appreciate Eric. Letting me be on today. I appreciate everybody who's helping, and so we'll see. Hey, we'll see you next month. You listen to the Mother's Justice Show on 11:50 a.m. KKNW. I'm your host, Reverend Walden, and it's my joy to be on there. Thank you.
Thank you.